Hey, this is David Perdue from MyNAMS.com and the Novice to Advanced Marketing System. By the way, I've been taking a little video training and presentation training from Stephen Mimmel, who's going to be one of the instructors at our workshop, and I realized I just did a terrible job of that introduction. So let me give you the Stephen Mimmel version of that introduction. Hey there, this is David Perdue from MyNAMS.com and the Novice to Advanced Marketing System. How was that? Better? Huh? Was that better? So what I'm trying to do is learn how to be more focused, confident, and enunciate more clearly, because I have a tendency to talk very quickly, especially when I get excited. So I might get really excited today too, because we had a guy on just a few months ago that was kind of a newbie in the marketplace, but he had a lot of life experience in video training. And I was really impressed. People loved his program, and they loved what he presented on that program. And that was Paul Jenkins. He's staying up late for us. He's in the UK, so he's staying up late for us and going to present something else today. Paul has taken this online business stuff to the extreme. He's decided he's all in on it. And when he told me what he was doing, I wanted to get him on here to talk about it. So what he's doing is putting courses up on Udemy right now. And Udemy is a platform that is pretty hot. Carol Bremner taught this course at the NAMS workshop last time. I think she taught Udemy at the last workshop. But Paul has taken it to a level that I'm pretty impressed with. In his first course, he's gotten 1,400 people signed up for that course, and he's got 500 signed up for the second course, which he just released. So Paul's going to tell us why and how to use Udemy and what he's doing as a newbie, really, in the market to build his business and what's working for him. So, Paul, glad you're here, and thank you for doing this today.
Now, thank you very much for inviting me back, David. I absolutely love the NAMS community. I love what you've set up, and it's a real pleasure to do this. And actually, Stephen's talk was fantastic, wasn't it? About the way to put yourself across on camera and everything else.
It was.
Yeah.
He used me as a guinea pig, by the way.
You did it well. I think you're hired. So yeah, I mean, Udemy's, you know, to speak very, very frankly, you know, I'm not a marketer, right? I'm a film guy, but I'm a guy who's basically trying to find a way to create stuff online, to diversify online, to extend my films online, you know, to find ways basically to make a buck or a few bucks, and you know, basically grow a business which is for me a parallel business to the filmmaking, right? And so, like perhaps many of the people tuning in here, I guess, you know, time is very, very pressured, and you know, to construct a business that basically is going to build and build and build, but without spending acres and acres and acres of time having to master, you know, loads of technical stuff and so forth, can be quite challenging. And
so one of the things we talked about, though, if you don't mind, let me just say, one of the things that we talked about before people got on here, which is something for especially newbies or even intermediate type folks to think about, and maybe even advanced, I'm not sure, is that with Udemy, or is it Udemy or Udemy, or, you know?
I have no idea, right, to be honest.
U-D-E-M-Y. So we're going to call it Udemy. So since it's somebody else's platform, you can take your courses that you actually have on your site, and it really diversifies so that you have multiple streams of income from the same content, right? And that's really attractive to me. This Udemy and Totalpreneurs is another course platform like this that we've promoted as well. One of the reasons I like these is if something happens, you can still drive traffic to whatever these platforms are and still create income. If one of the platforms goes down, you still have it on your site, or you still have it elsewhere, and you can still drive traffic wherever you want to drive it and still create income. So, you know, you're kind of doing that, right?
And I think you know, I think it's in the television and film game. One of the and you know from your you know former career as well. It's very, very important when when kind of creating stuff and mastering stuff through for public consumption, whether it's to put out to a broadcasting audience or whether it's to put out to a buying audience, or people are going to come in and hopefully buy your stuff. I think it's really, really important to have a kind of quality control process in a way, to have a kind of feedback process to help you actually get the product in really good shape. Do you know what I mean? And
I do.
Particularly if you're operating alone, as I think a lot of people doing online marketing are, it's actually one of the real upsides of Udemy is that actually you have a series of steps that actually you can get through very, very rapidly, and that's what I'm going to try and teach everyone tonight. But those steps are critical to actually get a really good product. To have something that actually, once you've got it up on Udemy, then you can actually, it's non-exclusive. So you can have it up on Udemy, it can be making money on Udemy, and effectively you've had their guys effectively take you through a process to get a really good product ready, right? Okay. And then you can stick it out to ClickBank, JVZoo, Warrior Forum, frankly, in a zillion other places. So it can be quite a very, very, just in pure editorial terms, it can be a very, very powerful mechanism, actually.
Are you going to show us this in some slides today and on the site itself?
I will, yeah. Would you like me to cue the slides up? And I'll.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and jump into it. Why don't you just take it away, and I'm going to go on mute for a little bit and let you talk. If you have a question or if I have a question, you can pop me back.
Super. All right, David, we'll do. Okay, so let's try. Let's hope this works. So I'm hitting the screen share now. And yeah, here we go. So this is looking promising. And here we go. Start screen share. How's that? Did that come up? Right.
It does. I can see it. I'm looking at your. I'm looking at those slides with the sidebar on the left. Yes.
Great. Okay. Well, look, I'm going to rattle through this quite rapidly, and I hope that's okay with everyone tuning in. But I want to try to get through this. Basically fairly fully. This is what Udemy have got up on their About page, and I hope this is visible. 5 million students, or more than 5 million students, 13 million, more than 13 million course enrollments, 22,000 courses, more than 12,000 instructors, and people teaching in more than 40 languages. I mean, this basically is huge. Okay, this is very definitely the equivalent of Kindle. Or getting up that way, certainly. Massive and very, very active marketplace. And the point about these numbers is that Udemy is not only the top of what they kind of call the skills gap platform, but it's actually climbing away from the other ones. I mean, when you look at the Alexa rankings, Udemy is right at the top and is accelerating away right now. In fact, it's been accelerating away in the last 2 or 3 months. So that's actually really, really significant, I think, in terms of a business opportunity. Now, why should you bother with Udemy? Well, huge and growing opportunity, as I said. It's got a huge variety of niches and sub-niches, okay? I think this is a very, very important point because when you go into the Udemy platform, you'll see literally everything from dog grooming to PHP coding, from Photoshop courses through to entrepreneurial courses, internet marketing. I mean, you name it, it's there, and you see every kind of combination of niches. So it's a fantastic way to be able to take one of the big money niches, make money online, or make me healthy, or teach me something passionate about your hobby, and find ways of combining sub niches in there to literally teach almost anything. Right? It's a very, very powerful platform in that sense. One of the things I'm very keen about with Udemy is that once you get your courses up there, and I'm going to be trying to teach tonight a little bit about how to do that very, very rapidly, but once you get your courses up there, it's effectively like farming. You're just putting your courses out into a field and growing the course year after year, basically. And certainly if you can stick courses up that are fairly evergreen, effectively what's going to happen is you're going to get more and more students piling into the course. And obviously that makes you more money, and it also increases your audience reach inside Udemy in terms of marketing. Now, Udemy are not going to go away. I think you can see from the numbers I just showed you, they're there, they're around to stay. When people buy your courses, they're buying lifetime access to your courses. So, you know, Udemy are not a kind of fly-by-night operation. These are guys who are obviously very, very serious. I think in their last round of funding, they got I think they got $32 million last year in their kind of third or fourth round of investment funding. So, you know, these guys are serious, basically. Another very good reason for getting into Udemy is, and I'm just beginning to discover this actually, is that it's a really great test bed for information products. Okay, if you've got an idea that you think, okay, this could be a really great information product, this could be a great course, why don't we do a launch about this out on JVZoo or something like that, then Udemy can be a really, really great place to just, you know, literally test out. You put it out into an audience, you see how buyers react you see how people react inside the course and react to your content. I think it's a great test bed as well. Finally, I'd say it's a great jump-off point, as we were saying earlier, David, and everyone. You know, you can basically effectively master a course, master an information product on Udemy, get it to a good standard on Udemy, and then simply spread it out to Skillfeed, JVZoo, Warrior Forum, and one of zillions of other places, right? So basically, as far as I can see, Udemy is a huge business opportunity. You know, the multiple niche thing, as I say, is very, very interesting. Combining niches and expertise can really work wonderfully on Udemy. For example, you might know about photography, and you might figure out, okay, I can teach about you know, wedding photography secrets, or I could have wedding photography secrets using an iPhone. Or I could have, you know, wedding photography secrets, how to build a business. I mean, it's a really fantastic way to combine niches around like that. Okay. And essentially, once you get a course up there and get it running, you'll find that sales can almost run on autopilot. You have to have some intervention inside the course, and that can be advantageous in terms of ranking, as I'll come to. But basically, this is not a kind of very intensive business once you've actually got a course up there, you know, or indeed multiple courses, as I'm going to come on to. Now, you know, what's my connection to Udemy? I'm a film director, online publisher, marketer. I've been filmmaking for about 20 years, and about 2 years ago, I started buying a lot of courses on Udemy. I mean, I spent way too much money, and I've seen the other side of it. I've seen the power of Udemy's marketing, if you like, to people coming into the platform and discovering the platform for the first time. You know, Udemy started by guys who knew about list building, basically, and their original idea was that they were going to become course producers. And then they realized that rather than do that, they would become the broking house. They would become the marketplace for the courses. And so therefore, you've got a bunch of guys there who really do know how to basically use promotional marketing, direct marketing, email marketing, and so forth to bring students into that platform. And so therefore, it works. I mean, I know as a buyer, it worked on me, and I can now see as a seller, it works with the people who are signing up to my courses. And to be very truthful about this, I actually made my first decent money on Udemy. It's the place that I first started to make decent amounts of money, and so therefore, you know, I'm a fan in that sense. Okay, now because of my filmmaking experience, excuse me, I've managed to basically develop a system to basically produce courses extremely rapidly on Udemy. I mean, I quite literally knocked out a course today in half a day. I've got a course up on Udemy that took me half a day to get up there, and within a day or two from now, that course will be live, and you know, and will actually be selling on Udemy, right? So
are you going to talk about that a little bit too?
I will do. Yeah, I absolutely will do, David. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, when you go into Udemy, you're going to find loads of advice from Udemy about how to make courses, and I'll tell a few kind of a few little secrets here, actually, some of which Udemy may hate me for, may shoot me down, but there you go. I mean, basically, when you go into Udemy, you're going to find they have loads of great resources. They have their own course they give to prospective instructors to teach them how to make courses, and you'll find yourself in a kind of almost like a course production funnel inside Udemy, where what they're trying to get you to do is spend really quite a lot of time carefully structuring and you know, outlining and structuring and scripting and recording and blah 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 your course. And frankly, if you were to follow all of that, it would take you several weeks or even several months to get a course ready, right? And I see a lot of instructors out on Udemy basically trying that and getting frustrated because they spend a lot of time mastering their course, and then they find that they might not get very many sales. But that's definitely not the approach I'm going to show, right? Now, people have a lot of problems with technical problems on Udemy. They find it difficult to get through the review process and things, and they find they can't get a list out of Udemy. That's another thing that marketers are worried about and complain about on Udemy, that you can't actually directly get the email lists, the email addresses of your buyers coming in. But I'm going to tell you about some ways of getting around that, right? So I'm going to rattle through, David, right?
Yeah. So can I ask you a question here, just quickly?
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Because when you talk about list building, so far what I'm seeing, and making this comparison to it, maybe just because we just finished our Kindle challenge, this seems like a Kindle opportunity to me. Not in that you create a Kindle book, but it's kind of the same idea. You put a Kindle book up on Amazon's platform, you use Amazon's platform to build your list and make money.
I think it is very analogous. Yeah, it does. It certainly does. I think it's totally analogous. I mean, I think the way that, for example, putting free coupons out with a Udemy course in order to drive up social proof prior to marketing the courses out is actually very analogous to the KDP program, for example, on Kindle. I would say that one of the big differences with Kindle, though, is that the margins can be much, much bigger on sales. I mean, you're going to see price points in Udemy of of 97, 197, even $499 for a course, and you will get some sales at that level, right? And so, obviously, compared to a Kindle book, that's a massive difference, yeah. If that makes sense, right? So anyway, I've drawn up what I call the kind of Udemy ammo plan, right? And these are the kind of basic things that I think you absolutely need if you're going to crunch it on Udemy, and these are things that I use day in, day out right now. First off, decent microphone. You'll have heard this before. You do not want to spend loads of time basically mastering audio afterwards, or having to clean up audio with audio filters or Logic Pro 10 or any of that kind of stuff. That's just going to eat your time. The very best plan is get a decent microphone, Blue Yeti, an iRig microphone, something that gets a nice clean audio recording, something where you can eliminate computer fan noise, and effectively sail through the kind of audio requirements of Udemy. That's very, very important. Audio is probably more important in Udemy than visuals, right? So microphone straight off. Secondly, a decent screen capture program. Now, whether it's ScreenFlow on Mac or whether it's Camtasia or whatever it is, but again, don't skimp on this. Get yourself a decent screen recorder, because that will help you. And I think ScreenFlow is on version 5 now. And if you get a good one, what it means is that you'll be able to edit the stuff very, very rapidly. You'll be able to basically get the screen recording done, and then sail through, quickly cut out any coughs, any hums, any ha's, and effectively knock out the chunks of your ScreenFlow ready to upload to Udemy very, very fast. Third up is a decent editing software. I use Final Cut Pro 10. You could use iMovie, for example. There's obviously things like Adobe Premiere and so forth, for PC. And basically what you're after is something that you can take piece-to-camera stuff, chuck it into the editing deck, and again, master it out very, very fast, ready to go up to Udemy. I use a piece of software called A Better Finder Rename, and what this allows me to do is to change file extensions on a whole batch of video files very, very rapidly. So, for example, I might export out of ScreenFlow as M4V, for example, and I want to turn that into MP4, something like that. And so I use this piece of software basically to very, very rapidly do renames prior to the upload to Udemy. Graphic stock and Pixabay, you're going to want to have decent cover images for your courses. Why not spend $100 or so a year, get into graphic stock, then you can very, very rapidly get decent images you can put in. And finally, promo videos. Frankly, I've found nothing better than Powtoon. I knock out promo videos in about, 10 to 15 minutes these days. And I can even show a couple of those as we go on. So those are the kind of basic tools you're going to need. Tactics secret number one: easy. Be rapid. If you're getting into a position on Udemy where you're spending several days or weeks mastering your course, you're in the wrong place, frankly, because what this is really about is knocking out a series of courses very, very rapidly that you can cross-promote. And we're going to come on to cross-promotion. But what I want to encourage you to do, basically, is to think about an area of expertise you've got, think about a passion you have, think about the angles you could put into that passion, and think about quite literally knocking out 4 or 5 courses every month. Because once you start getting into that kind of workflow on Udemy, you're going to find huge results in terms of cross-promotion, I can assure you. The second tactics secret I would give immediately is what I would call the kind of minimal value proposition, MVP, or I would call it a minimum value course. Okay, and what I mean by that is not that your course is rubbish or full of pap, but that basically you don't agonize too much about some technical flaws inside it, or it isn't absolutely perfect, or oh God, I didn't structure this absolutely wonderfully, or I didn't cover every single point in this or that lecture. What's critically important to have success on Udemy, in my view, is to produce courses that fit a gap. They fit a need. They address the pain points of the buyers. That you're giving them good content, and you're giving it to them in a way that is authentic. Basically, you're giving real value honestly, in a sensible way, and doing it that way, and finding basically courses that you can master out that might be 35, 40 minutes long in terms of overall video, but that you just deliver the goods. I mean, you're not trying to produce a Hollywood movie here, right? That's very, very important. So multiple courses matter. I won't go through all of those bullet points, but essentially they're allowing you to test the market rapidly. You're overcoming your own inertia and procrastination, and crucially, you're able to get into cross promotion. Okay, so shall I go through these, David? This is just about where I feel we should be rapid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, rapidity is there's a series of steps you have to do to get a course up onto Udemy. And niche selection is one, choice of an angle, choice of the structure and outline of your course, content creation, Udemy course creation, and promotional steps. Now, all of those steps, essentially, what I'd like to teach you tonight is how to do all of those steps extremely rapidly, right? What you have to avoid on Udemy, don't even for a nanosecond be tempted to use PLR, okay? Certainly don't use PLR undiluted, because if you do that, all that's going to happen is that Udemy are going to call you out, or one of the instructors will call you out on this. You'll be reported for that, and your course will be kicked out, and you may be kicked out of Udemy. Udemy don't want that, and it's simply an absolute rule for them. Do not try to put PLR straight across to Udemy. Do not be tempted to try to put up courses with particularly with lousy audio quality, right? I see a lot of people coming through the Udemy studio complaining, oh, Udemy rejected my course because it had hiss, hum, ha, distortion, whatever. It felt okay to me, but frankly, it isn't okay, and it isn't okay for your buyers either. So do make sure that you have decent quality audio before sticking courses up. You can be very, very rapid whilst doing that. Don't have lousy video. Your video doesn't need to be Hollywood, but have it decently lit. The camera reasonably stable. Stick it on a tripod or something like that. Have a little bit of consideration for the framing you've got, and you'll be absolutely fine. So, rapidity does not mean poor value. It simply means being rapid, right? Okay, so let's rattle through.
I'm going to give you. I'm going to break you right here for just a second. We've gone through a lot of material so far, and one of the things I'm going to ask you to do is provide a PDF to these slides. Will you agree to do that for these folks?
Absolutely, yeah, totally, yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Great. So one of the things I want to make sure that we get to is that we talk about the kind of a case study of what you're doing and how you got it up there and those kind of things. So I haven't seen the slides, so I don't know how many more you have to go through, and if these are going to be step by step on the process. So Give
Well,
me some
what I
hints.
could do, David, is I could hop over to the back and front ends of say 3 or 4 of the courses I've got up on Udemy and actually talk through the elements off the page. That maybe that would be useful because that'll draw
Yeah,
in the tactics and the strategy.
I think that
Should we
would.
try it that way? I'll Yeah, because I actually see the course. That's true. So hang on, I'll just try to hit the screen share button and hope that I will be able to change.
Ta-da!
I'm
It
back on me
worked
now.
this time. Good.
It went on back on me. Right, let's see if I can select the screen now.
And while you're doing that, we have some questions. You mind taking a few?
No problem at all.
Okay. So let's see. Carol was just confirming that, like you said, you don't have to do everything that Udemy says. All of the little picky things that they suggest.
Yeah.
So many people have problems getting their test video okayed by Udemy. Pay attention to that. Jeff says there's quite a bit of disenchantment with the Udemy community about the new fee structure. For example, apparently you only get paid for the students you actually bring into the course. Is that true?
That's actually not true. No.
Okay.
I mean, the headline on that is if you put a coupon out and you bring the student in, you get 97% of the sale. If it's a Udemy organic sale, so in other words, someone's on the platform and simply discovers your course and buys it, you get 50%. Ditto goes for if Udemy run one of their promotions, for example, one of their advertising promotions and brings a student in, you get 50% of the sale. But of course, Udemy, you can either opt into the Udemy promotion system or not. I would recommend opting in.
Okay, so let me clarify that you just said. You said if you bring people in, you get 97%.
You get 97%, which okay. You can see straight away. That's interesting because and I'll say something here that I kind of told myself I wasn't going to say, but I will. Damn it. Which is that. But hey, for NAMS people, I think this is fine. The truth is that setting up a membership site, as you know, is hell on wheels, right?
It is, yes.
It's hell on wheels. Whether you're using a member, and I've tried them. Well, I've tried several of them certainly. I mean, whether you're using a member, whether you're using InstaMember, whether you're using membership plugin from WPMU, whether you're using, God, what else have I used? Even to be honest, those lovely guys at Kajabi, okay, where it's a little bit expensive as well.
Sure.
And getting the integration between Kajabi and the payment processor is hell on wheels, okay? So sorry, Kajabi, I love you to bits, but I'm afraid that bit is not that great.
Right.
Right. Basically, it's hell, and not only is it hell to set up, and it takes a long time to set up, but you also have the stress of actually maintaining and running that membership site subsequently. You've sold out, God knows how many, several hundred memberships. You have an obligation to your membership to make damn sure that site is up and running, and da-da-da-da-da. Honestly, it's a hell of a lot of stress. I've done it, I am doing it, and I'm conscious of the amount of stress that involves. Udemy is your solution because basically you can have a membership site, okay, up there, it's on their service, it's very nicely structured, all the navigational elements inside Udemy work perfectly, and effectively you can have your product, effectively, your membership site up on Udemy, and you simply steer your traffic into it.
And they even handle the back-end payment systems and all that kind of stuff for you, so you don't have all the issues that you would deal with for your own membership site, like affiliate commissions, all those things, which would be making sure that you got your money, making sure that other people got their money, all that kind of stuff. So Udemy would take care of all of that for you.
Precisely, and actually, I'm using it in a way that again I think will be perhaps of interest to NAMS members, which is that you can actually, I use a payment processor. I use Zaxa, in fact, and with Zaxa, what I can do is, because I'm European, there's a new European tax law, VAT law, which means that I have, again, it's a nightmare because if I have a non-UK European buyer, potentially I'm exposed to VAT, the new VAT legislation, which means that I'm responsible to pay the VAT in the country of that buyer. It's a complete mess that's actually aimed at Amazon, which in fact is hitting the 500,000, kind of internet entrepreneurs in Britain, for example, and the many others across Europe. Well, a very simple solution to that is simply to set up an IP divert, So, for example, your non-European customers.
Okay,
Simply,
hold on, hold on. So,
yeah.
so hold on. You're getting too technical for us with an IP
Okay.
divert on this, okay?
All I mean is that what you can do very simply is that if you can have someone outside, for example, Europe, pay for the course inside your payment processor in the normal way. The 50% goes to the affiliate, no problem. And then the delivery page simply has a free coupon, a free access coupon to your Udemy course.
Yeah.
So in
Okay.
fact, all that happens is your buyer pays through your normal payment processor, whether it's JVZoo, whether it's Zaxa or whatever, or FastSpring, whatever solution you care to have, and the delivery, basically the delivery page for the purchase, you simply have a free access coupon. So your buyer has paid the price, they come to the download page, there's the access coupon, click that, bam, they're straight into your membership site on Udemy.
Okay, so let me ask,
Yeah,
are there any restrictions with regards to the content you have on Udemy and other places it can be? So you can put it on Udemy and other platforms as well, right?
absolutely. It's not exclusive. The only thing that they don't allow is for you to have a paid course up on Udemy freely available, for example, on YouTube.
Okay.
That is not. You can have elements of the course out on YouTube, which can help with promotion and so forth. But you don't have to. They obviously don't want a situation where people are paying money on Udemy, and then they discover the thing is free on YouTube.
So can you have like a widget or something on your site which has all of your Udemy courses that you've created, so that you can link into Udemy from there?
Absolutely,
Okay.
and that's what I'm setting up right now. I simply have a page, a gallery page with the course listings. Click this and bam, go straight in. Yeah.
So Kim says she's been hesitant to go with Udemy because they take 50% of the profit, where PathRight only takes 4%. Did you ever consider PathRight instead?
I must admit I haven't, and that's probably my ignorance. But and here I'm gonna put my head on the chopping board and and look up at the guillotine, right? Because actually, very honestly, someone buys one of my courses on Udemy, and they might spend $127, they might spend $197, they might spend $10. I don't care. I don't care. Okay, I'm happy because hey, I've made $10. Someone's just bought 2 of my pizzas, and most importantly though, that person is a prospect for future courses that I'm putting out. That's a really, really important point, because on Udemy you can cross promote out your other courses twice a month. In effect, and one strategy I've seen some instructors using, and the strategy I'm pursuing, is to build up a very large student body, so a very large, effectively emailing list on Udemy, at which point you can cross promote out to 20, 30,000 people, immediately. So I think that's a powerful way to do it.
Okay, so the reason I'm actually wondering about that question, because the way you explained it with Udemy was that if you drove people in, it was 97% that you got.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm wondering if on PathRight that it's 96% that you get if you drive people in, and then there's a residual on that. So Kim, if you know more about how that works, go ahead and type that in here, because I'd be interested in knowing more about that.
I think the question I'd ask, David, would be about the size of PathRight as well, to be honest with you, and also about the user experience on the courses, because Udemy, as far as I know, Udemy is the big player.
Absolutely. That was the other thing too, was that when you send people to Udemy, or when people find you in Udemy, you look at the 5 million students that are already there. So if PathRight's got 1 million students, that may not be something you want to ignore. If they have 100,000 students, that's different. So it's all about traffic and leads and conversion. That's what it's all about. So.
Exactly.
Okay.
And actually, if you pull some tricks, I can rattle through some of the tricks right now. For example, you can actually rank your course on the first page in the category listing. So for example,
very much like Kindle.
Very much like Kindle, and I mean, I'm not a Kindle expert, but frankly, again, I'm talking a bit out of shop here, and I hope Udemy don't kill me, but Direct to Secrets, this course on directing I put up. How did I do the course? I went out to the park at a weekend. I literally shot around the park, talking into the cameras. I took the various shots, came back home. I edited the stuff up. I had it up on Udemy within it was up there within 3 to 4 days. Okay, but what I've discovered is that if you're smart about the way that you construct the title of the course, because the title of the course, the working title of the course that you first put into Udemy is effectively the permalink for the course, and then think SEO. So in other words, construct your landing page with all the relevant, keyword phrases and so forth inside the landing page. And then what you do is you then barrel out into the Udemy Studio and elsewhere, and you recruit in quite a lot of free students. You simply give out free coupons, drive up the social proof very, very rapidly for your course, and take part in the course discussions. And before you know it, your course can be on page 1 of the category of the category page for Udemy. Well, if you think about that for a second, it means that potentially tens of thousands of people daily are coming through that page, seeing your course on the first page of the category. Well, I mean, I think that's seriously interesting.
Let me ask you about the title, because we've got a specific question about that.
Yeah.
And Carol says, if you're testing titles on a course, and I change the name of the title or the name of the course will it mess up your course links? And you said that
no, it won't, because what happens is you get that permalink assigned once, and then it's there forevermore. In fact, you do get an opportunity to change that permalink just before you hit the submit for review button. So there's 2 stages at which that permalink is created. The first is when Udemy say, okay, put in a working title for your course. It effectively creates the permalink, and then just before you submit for review, you have an opportunity to do the last change at that point. So I would
And Sue wants to know, did you say that the courses were 35 to 40 minutes, or are they whatever length you want to make them?
They are whatever length you want to make them. I think there is a maximum length of, I forget how many tens of hours, but the minimum length of video is 30 minutes.
Okay.
For a paid course, minimum length of 30 minutes. But yeah, I mean, that's not hard to attain.
Carol, by the way, is confirming that she loves Udemy because she doesn't have to worry about the technology or the payments. That's great.
Exactly.
So Brad says, be sure to comment about how to do list building from within your course.
Right. Okay. That's a great question. And actually, this is the, this is the ugly secret, actually, in Udemy. Okay. What to say about this? Udemy do not want you getting the private details or the email details of your students. Okay, they don't want it. They want to basically control access to that email list. That said, there are ways of leeching away a percentage of your students, particularly the active students, into an email list. Okay, and those methods include and involve setting up a Facebook mastermind group associated with your course. So in other words, you can invite students over into your Facebook mastermind, and thereon obviously you could then recruit them in. You can set up webinars, for example, and advertise a webinar as a special educational extension for your course.
Right.
And obviously you could use something like Webinar Jam, for example, which involves an email sign-up to, again, bring people into a list. Another really great method is to put as one of your lectures a PDF report or book, an ebook, for example, where, of course, the obvious trick is to have the ebook and have on the first or second page, by the way, you might want to join my special, my special newsletter, which gives you special offers, blah, blah, blah. And in that way, you've brought the person into the list. But
also like Kindle.
And at this stage, I must bow down and apologize to the Udemy gods. I'm very, very sorry. I know I've spoken out of turn. Please don't chop me off. It was David who got me here. But honestly, I think the ebook one is a really good one, frankly, because who doesn't want to actually have a look at the free ebook? Who isn't going to want to, to get some special stuff, So
well, and the other thing is, if you have a course, I mean, if you've got a course that you're creating, and the course has a support group for that course, a study group for that course. I mean, it's just crazy for Udemy to think that you wouldn't want to have that continuation for that, right? Yeah. Okay.
I can sort of understand. Well, I can certainly understand from a commercial perspective why Udemy take the position they do. I can even understand it from a quality control perspective as well. But there's a kind of unspoken procedure negotiation going on between, I think, the smarter and more active instructors in Udemy on this, because obviously, what does Udemy want? Udemy wants good instructors with good quality content, etc., etc. What they don't want to do is to drive, smart instructors totally away from the platform. So there's a little bit of give and take, but
Sure.
it has to be done subtly, basically.
So do they charge you to become an instructor?
Nope, totally free.
Totally free.
Totally free.
Okay.
Totally free. Yeah.
But you have to meet their quality control standards.
Yeah, and actually the real here's another top tip. Make your first course a good one. Make your first course a good one. Get a good solid 45-minute course up there, nicely done. Have a nice profile up there, good profile of yourself, and so forth. Become a premium instructor, and once you're a premium instructor and you've shown, look, the course is selling and so forth. My experience is I had my third course approved for after Udemy review within 12 hours. I couldn't believe it. I mean, because normally it should take 2 or 3 days minimum for Udemy to come back and approve it. They approved it instantly. Actually, I was very, very surprised. And so once you've got that premium instructor status, you have a lot of advantages, because you can then effectively list your next course up and put a price on it immediately. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the procedure, it just becomes much, much more rapid at that point.
Okay. So now you were going to show us some of the back-end course creation that you have on Udemy, and I just want to tell people that you already have about 2,000 people signed up for your courses already on Udemy, and you're making money from those courses as well. And you probably have, with the cross-promotion, if they take one course, you probably have some way of notifying them of the other courses, correct?
That's absolutely right. And actually, just before I show the back ends of the courses and so forth, I mean, the cross promotion thing is seriously interesting, because basically the way that you can work it is every time you put out a new course, and I think that the kind of sensible objective to go for here is to knock out 2 courses a month. Because Udemy allow you to do 2 cross-promotional posts across all of your courses, all of your students twice, twice a month. Okay, so I mean, okay, at the moment I'm up at about 2,500, 3,000 students. Okay, but within 2 to 3 months from now, I hope that will be 15 or 20,000 students. Okay.
So let me ask you a question there. You said you're allowed to do 2 cross-promotional posts per month. Does that mean that when you have 3,000 students, you can actually send a post to those students from inside Udemy that says, I have a new course?
And the beautiful thing about it is that you can actually, I mean, I write my posts out to my promotional posts out to those students exactly as you would an intelligent email marketing campaign.
Cool. That sounds like what I call diversified list building, where you're building a list and another system.
Precisely. I mean, you're not allowed to put. You have to be careful about what links you put in there. But for example, you would do a classically composed email marketing mail out. Okay, and for example, hi, just as special, just for my existing students, come in here. It's a really special price point. Link. I did this course at a lump link, and then obviously you can have the PS link and so forth. And I even put into my ones, by the way, this is a 30-day absolute guarantee. No questions asked. Refund, refund, refund. So you take away the risk as well at the end of the email. And you can either send one of those, well, as I say, 2 a month, so across all of your students. But one way I've done that is to actually send one day after another. So I've said, okay, guys, you can get into this course for X amount of dollars, very, very cheap, for the next 3 days only. So you put scarcity in there that people are aware. Well, okay, if I want to grab that price, I better get in. Day 2, again, the second email goes out. Hey, by the way, it's only 48 hours now.
Okay,
so
cool.
You can run sort of Jeff Walker style campaigns like that through. And of course, it's the great thing also is that the email is coming from Udemy. So it's a little bit like an email coming from Amazon or whatever. You're not going to get bundled in with people who have got for example 100 internet marketers emailing them.
Right.
You're going to stand out from those guys.
Okay, so We got a couple more questions here, but I really want to get to the back end. So if you don't mind, let's
Sure.
just jump into that. Show us some of the stuff that you're doing in there.
Absolutely. I'll see if I can get this to queue up the screen share. Nothing happening yet.
By the way, while we're doing this, I'm going to tell you guys how grateful I am that Paul is here today, because Paul had a kitchen fire this morning that almost burnt his apartment down. And he is here with us, even though that happened earlier today. So, wow.
You know, I was thinking about which cafe around here had an internet connection, David.
I'm really happy that it didn't take the whole place. So
we had a lucky escape. We really did, actually. Now I'm hitting the screen share button, and so far, as they say in Lancashire, England, nought is happening.
You're kidding.
I'm really not. No.
And it's the green button with the little white arrow.
Sure is, and it's refusing to play ball.
Well, that's interesting.
Damn it, that's annoying. Well, I mean, look, I can tell the guys the names of the courses. Capturing Passion, which is a course about video interviewing. Direct to Secrets, it's a course about basically.
So you know what? I'm going to bring it up. I'll bring it up.
Great. Okay, yeah, super. Yeah.
And we'll take a look over here. So let me just bring it up, and you just tell me how to find your courses.
I'll just talk to you. Yeah, because the first one, well, if you just put my name in, actually, in Udemy, if you just put Paul Jenkins in the search box, you'll find all the courses.
Okay.
It should throw up Paul Jenkins instructor. I'm about to find out if I have a doppelganger. So, yeah, there we go. So you can see, for example, Ultimate Udemy Profits. That's the latest one.
So these do not have to be. One of the things I'd heard was that Udemy courses were basically could be low-cost courses. This is 127 bucks. That's not a low-cost course.
No, not at all. And you know, actually, this course is a little bit different from most of the ones I would knock out, to be honest with you, because I've put the price point deliberately high at this stage. I think it's going to be a very, very good selling course, this one. I mean, you can see it's literally only just gone out. This one went out today, I think it was, out onto the marketplace.
So it went out today, and you've got 19 students?
Yeah, there's 19 people come in. Yeah, they didn't all pay 127 bucks, so that's another story. But you know, and but I mean, ordinarily, price-wise, I would normally launch a course at say $27 or $37, and I would ratchet up the price every month by about $20, something like that. So you might go, for example, 27, 47, then hike it up to 67, 97, and so forth.
So here you have
also add value.
You've got 34 modules in this course.
Yeah, exactly.
And some of the modules are less than a minute.
Yeah. They've a top tip for people is that, generally speaking, if you can get your modules around about 5 or 6 minutes, that's about the optimum for engagement, in fact. Another thing you'll notice on that page is you see how I've put quite a few modules as previews.
Yes.
You'll see some instructors avoiding doing this. They're kind of frightened that people are going to steal their secrets or not take their course because they see the preview stuff. You know, basically, don't be. You know, put up several of your lectures as previews. Allow people to see you, basically. You know, if you have confidence like that, people basically will think, okay, well, look, if the guy's sharing that, the other things are going to be good. You know, it's a trust issue.
And so the player comes up in the middle of the page.
Yep.
As your
Actually, I kick it off there exactly with the Alexa ranking thing I was talking about earlier. And you know, the top line on that chart is actually Udemy.
Okay. Okay. And so here are your other courses.
The other courses list on the side, a bit like YouTube. So, for example, if you click into Capturing Passion there, and I sort of talk you through one of the important things is obviously to try and get decent reviews. You know, I've been lucky so far. I've had kind of all 5-star reviews. No one's given me a lousy review yet. But trying to have sort of 10 5-star reviews really helps quite a lot, I think. in terms of the uptake and purchases on the course. One very, very important thing to do is to write the benefits of the course through the whole of the landing page, right? So it's kind of a top tip, but not only to write the benefits into the actual sales part of the page, but actually to write the benefits through the lecture titles of the course as well.
One of the things I see that you're doing is that you have a module at the end of each section with questions. Is this yours, or is Udemy telling you that?
Udemy advise you to do it, but actually it is quite a good idea to try to build that into your courses. Because basically if people feel it's a little bit more interactive, you can set them homework. I think another effective technique is you say, well, look, you've got to the end of this section about how to use the aperture on your camera. What I now want you to do is, get out there and shoot this and that and the other with the aperture, and and find out how that works. So something where you're giving these little challenges as you go through a course, I think is good. Yeah.
Okay, so I see this extra resources to be continually built over time in this course. So I assume that this is also bringing people back to your site.
Exactly, yeah. It's if you keep basically adding value and adding content into your course over a period of time, first of all, you get more engagement with your current students. So when you then cross-promote out to those students later on, of course they're going to be much more committed to you as an instructor because you've shown you care about them basically. And second thing is that anyone coming into this landing page who's thinking about buying the course, is going to see, oh, hang on a second, so this course is being constantly refreshed and updated. This is a live course. It's not a, it's not a dead course that was put up, say, 2 years ago and then simply forgotten.
Okay, so this is really beautiful. I hadn't looked over here in a long time. So this is really nice. So this is where you're talking about making sure you put all your benefits so that people understand what they're getting, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and actually you can see that's actually a little bit out of date already because I'll need to freshen that up. But what I should really be putting at the top of that page is course updated February 2015. Join almost 1,900 students. Blam blam blam. So people when they arrive on this page, they obviously want reassurance that you know what you're talking about and you care about them. You're going to give them value and all of that. That's obviously important. And the profile section on the left there is very, very important. But they also want to know, frankly, that they're getting something which is a live thing. It's an organic thing. It's not. It's a dynamic thing. If they write into you and say, well, hang on a second, I didn't understand this, or why don't you give me a bit more of that? That you will respond to them basically. Yeah. Okay. It's not a coaching assignment, but you are available to help people.
Okay, so I'm going to ask some secrets here. To reveal some secrets.
Right.
You have 1,799 students enrolled.
Yep.
Price is $197.
Yep.
12 reviews.
Yep.
You've written a sales page basically here that sells people on the course.
Yep.
Talk to me about how you got 1,799 students, and did they all pay $197? And did you encourage reviews or not?
Right. Well, first of all, on the money, if I had all of those students paying 197, I'd be speaking to you from the Bahamas right now.
Okay, good.
And I'm not. I mean, actually in Paris, in cold Paris. So no. What happens basically is in terms of recruiting students and buyers into the course, you do it through coupon marketing, basically. Yeah. So what you'll do is you'll create coupons inside your Udemy course at different price points. You market those out through YouTube, through coupon sites, through direct email marketing, through all of the panoply of marketing channels that you can think of. And press releases, for example, is another good way to bring people in. And as I said earlier, you accept the fact that a sale is a sale. To speak very, very honestly, if you get a sale for $10 or $19 on a course that is listed at $197, you should be happy about that, in my opinion. That's money in the bank. It's a digital product. Why on earth would you be bothered about the fact that someone hasn't paid $197? But very, very importantly, if you give value to that purchaser who's paid $10 or $19 or $27 or whatever it may be for your course, that person is invested in you in the future. They're going to start to remember you as a brand, actually.
But one of the things I want to point out is if you have 1,799 students enrolled in this course, and they see and you've got that kind of a number, and people see the course price at 197 bucks over here, you're going to start getting a lot more purchases at the 197 rate because you've done a good job of creating social proof. Social proof drives everything, right?
I would, and again, to be very frank about this, I mean, this particular course you're looking at, it does have an application to marketing and to business and so forth. I mean, you can certainly use video interviewing for that, and we did a weekly live training precisely on that, of course. But it isn't an obvious make money course. Do you know what I mean? Right. It isn't how to build lists for massive profits or something like that. It's not positioning itself like that. So there are some courses you're going to do. You simply have to accept it's a medium to long-term game, right?
Okay.
And actually, you'll find also that as you develop and build out a course and a course attracts reputation, I think what will happen eventually is that also corporate buyers will come in. Udemy is marketing out to businesses as well. Right. So, I mean, for example, this course, I would love to see, for example, the BBC buy this course, or I don't know, television stations around the world also invest into something like this.
So the marketplace is huge.
Oh yeah, huge.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got something special for folks, and I think it's probably a good time for us to talk about this because, you've given us so much information here. I know that you've got some more information that people can get from you, and you've got one heck of a deal for them. So I wanted you to go into that, if you don't mind.
Yep, sure.
Do you have a link that you want me to go to on this, or can you get back into your slides, or is there something?
Can I find the link? I could try to message the link over. I'll have to find the. Let me think. Or could we put it out at the bottom, David, or what's the best way to do it?
Sure. So what I'll do is put it in as a sticky in here, but you know what? I need to know what the link is. So I think this link is probably one of our NAMS.ws links, is it?
Yeah, I think I Skyped over the link yesterday, but I can probably find that. Do you want me to try and find the link I Skyped?
Don't worry about it. I'll look for it. You just talk to people about it.
Yeah. When I thought about what to offer everyone here, I thought, well, okay, what's going to be really useful? So what I've done is to basically bundle together 4 things. The first part of it is an ebook. It's a 100-page ebook I've written, basically about how to crack Udemy. It's called Ultimate Udemy Profits, and that runs blow by blow, kind of step by step, through the process I've developed over the last 6 months to crunch it on Udemy. Also, the second part of the bundle is the video course you just saw actually on Udemy, which basically is about 3.5 hours of again step-by-step teaching on how to rapidly create courses, rapidly outline them using certain outlining and research methods I've developed, and basically literally showing with a live course, this is how I do it step by step. The third element is a video course with an online marketer called Saul Moraney. Now, Saul has been a very successful marketer for Warrior Forum. He's been putting out Warrior special offers, and he put out something called Tube Ranking Control a few weeks ago that sold 1,500 copies on Warrior Forum. Very, very popular product. And I thought what would be interesting would be to work with Saul and show basically blow by blow, step by step, how to convert an existing information product and convert that over to Udemy. So that third element, that second video course inside this bundle, is literally step by step with Saul as we take the various elements of his existing information product and bring them over to a Udemy course, and which we'll put out next week. So that's also building out. The final thing I thought would be useful would be to have a Facebook mastermind group for buyers of this bundle. Basically where we share strategies and approaches. So I would be available inside that mastermind to give whatever advice I can to people trying to progress in Udemy. So it's a 4-part bundle basically.
Okay, so clearly lay out the 4 parts again. Just one more time.
So part 1 is a 100-page ebook, which goes step by step through how to research, identify a niche, outline the course you're going to make. It goes into how to very rapidly create the video elements for that course, how to position that course, how to promote that course, and so forth. Part 2 is a 3.5-hour video course on Udemy, called Ultimate Udemy Profits, which
we were looking at previously.
Yeah, which is basically over the shoulder with me as I do it live with a couple of my courses. You actually see exactly how I do it. I show it with the Director Secrets course, which is the course already up there selling, and I actually do it also with a course I haven't even launched yet, where I show how you. It's a course about photography, where quite literally I just show how. Okay, so this is how I would approach it, how I'd identify the things that should be going to this course, why I position it this way, how I intend to produce it, and so forth. The third element is taking an existing successful information product, online marketing information product, and converting that into a Udemy course. So that would be of interest to people, for example, who already have information products out there on the marketplace, who are thinking, well, what's the best way to get this over into Udemy, or indeed people who are thinking about putting out information products and thinking, well, maybe Udemy is a good distribution channel as well. And the final element is a Facebook mastermind that I'm setting up that basically will be a place where we can swap strategies, we can swap insider tips, and basically learn and grow.
Okay. Let me just make sure I've got this correctly listed here. Okay, so I think I've got it. I think I've got it. It's going to be nams.ws/Udemy Profits, but I need to get the right link in there, so give me just a second. I believe that we are there. And if I can, I'll get the sales page up so you can see what it looks like. Yep. This it? Paul, is that it?
That's it. Quite a salesy headline there, but
step-by-step guide to monetizing Udemy, and you get all 4 of those items with this course, and you're doing this course, which includes the course that you have at Udemy, for $127, and all of this is $47 for folks, right?
That's it. Yeah, the entire bundle I'm doing for NAMS is $47 exactly.
That's awesome. So, Paul, we're going to have to get you over to the States at some point to teach folks. We'd love to do that next year, maybe. As we get more and more into this stuff. So let me see there. So I've got nams.ws/Udemy Profits in the sticky post at the site in the chat box. So you can click on that, go over to this sales page, click the Add to Cart button, and just go straight through the process, and you get all 4 of those elements that you talked about. And are those listed here? Those 4 elements are listed here, so they can see it again?
They're actually not listed on that particular page. No.
Okay.
But they will get access to that. You will get access to that. I'm going to put the link to the Facebook Mastermind inside the Udemy video course, so you'll see that link inside there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Outstanding. So let's see, that was nams.ws/Udemy Profits, and is there anything, we've got a couple of questions in here still.
Sure.
We'll just talk about some questions while we're looking at this and making sure that people get an opportunity to do this. Carol says there's another site called Fedora, which is very similar to Udemy, but you may have to do all the marketing yourself.
I've tried, I think the honest truth about Fedora, and again, I hope the guys don't hate me, is that, I've tried it. Okay, I've had a go with Fedora. The good thing about Fedora is that they've linked into the Udemy API, so you can have a course up on Udemy, and literally Fedora will hoover in your course, including the structure and all the content and so forth, and allow you basically to market out with your Fedora course. That can be quite a powerful technique. Honestly, I'm not totally convinced about the Fedora model, to be very, very frank, because what you're not getting is all the organic traffic that Udemy are getting through.
Yeah, and they get a ton. So that's the big thing, is getting people into the system. All right. So Kathleen says, if you branch into radically different niches, can you use pseudonyms, and should you?
Gosh. You can set up multiple Udemy instructor accounts. So, for example, some people are using that with a business name and a personal name. You might want to do that. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that.
Okay.
Should you do that? I think would boil down to a kind of branding question. you know, because I mean, personally, to be honest, I much prefer to just have everything simply identified with me, you know,
Right.
online. I'd rather, you know, here I am. This is who you're talking to, you know. But you know, I can see that there might be some things where you might think, well, okay, I'd rather have this under a pen name and nom de plume. Yeah.
Right. Right. Okay. So Jeff says the Learn Dash is another excellent option if you want to control the learner experience. Do you have any experience with Learn Dash?
I don't, none at all. I'm afraid, no. No.
Okay. And let's see.
I think it's worth saying though, David, that I mean, I have seen some very sophisticated apps out there, for example, which I think for photography and filmmaking and things like that might be interesting for the iPad, for example, that are really very, very sophisticated. But I think one of the things that is worth thinking about though is that if you're trying to create a business, or at least part of your business, where basically what it revolves around is putting up multiple income streams online, you know, so that it's about also testing, you know, it's about putting test ideas out there, test projects out there, and seeing which ones react and which ones don't. Then I do think the Udemy model is very, very interesting. I think apps and models that bring you more down the line of very, very intricate, you know, course construction and so forth may not be, you know, it's a different model actually. It's a very different business model. So I'm not familiar with LearnStream, but I have seen some apps out on iPhone. I thought, wow, that's really beautiful. Isn't that amazing? You know, da da da. But of course, the amount of time to actually master that stuff would be, you know, to actually produce that stuff would be a lot.
Yeah, now you do a lot of video, so you're very comfortable with video and camera and on-screen and all that kind of stuff. So, but can people do a course that is not live video, but just straight PowerPoint kind of courseware?
Absolutely, and in fact, that's one of the techniques I teach inside the two courses that people are going to get access to here. It's exactly that. You know, you can put up a series of slides and simply deliver, providing the content and the, you know, delivery is authentic and natural and engaging. And yeah, that's quite possible to do. You know, it's the secret really is to have a mix between a fairly detailed outline, but not necessarily a full script, because some measure of impromptu delivery actually really helps the engagement and really helps the course, frankly. Because, you know, people feel like they're, you know, if you're speaking with people as though they're friends and inside a course, you know, welcome on in. You know, this is what we're going to share together. This is what we're going to learn together. You know, it builds it in a very, very nice way. If it's too scripted out, it's going to feel a bit, you know, a bit artificial. Do you know what I mean? So even very simple bullet-pointed slides, but with a good natural delivery can certainly carry it on Udemy. You know, you don't have to do complex videos.
Somebody's asking one more time, would you go through the 4 things since they're not listed on the page here? And I'm going to write them down and I'll add them to the chat box over here. So the 4 things are.
So the 4 things are it's a 100-page ebook, Ultimate Udemy Profits, which goes blow by blow together with screenshots and everything else through the whole process I'm using on Udemy. The second element is a 3.5-hour.
Slowly.
Sorry. The second element is a 3.5-hour step-by-step video course delivered actually as a Udemy course, which takes you inside my personal course creation process. So it's over my shoulder as I create a course and as I promote a course that I've already got up on Udemy. The third element is a step-by-step video course on converting an information product currently out on Warrior Forum, very successful, over into a Udemy course. And the fourth element is
hold on. The third one, you go over that again because that sounds like repurposing something you already have.
Yeah, exactly. The third one is showing how I work with a product creator called Saul Moraney, who has a successful information product called Tube Ranking Control. And what we're doing is we've mastered half of that course already. And in fact, we're putting Saul's Udemy course up live next week. So the second half of that course is actually currently being built out. So it's a rolling course, if you like. But that literally shows step by step us doing it together over a Google Hangout. Yeah, where I'm literally saying, okay, this is what you do here. This is how you do it here. This is how you would structure it here. This is the way you'd want to approach it here. So that's actually of interest, I think, particularly for people who they already have a course out somewhere and they want to
like the
find
David Purdue's of the world who have like 30 courses or 40 courses already. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right. So
And the
fourth
fourth
thing
element is the Facebook mastermind. So that will be a closed group where we basically share strategies and tactics.
and you're giving all this for $47. Everything here is included in that $47.
Exactly. This might sound ridiculous, but actually, well, two things really. One is I don't want people to spend megabucks with me on this, because actually I'd like them to have to get all of this and to actually make some real money for themselves without actually having to spend megabucks, frankly, to be honest. But the second thing is, actually, I love Udemy, and so this is. I don't know. There are different strategies and approaches for playing Udemy, but I think I've found something that's quite interesting here, and I would like people to get access to this.
Okay, well, I'll be buying this one myself. This is awesome value. I really appreciate you bringing this to the NAMS community. So, heck, I'll pay the $47 just to get in the mastermind group, because that, to me, just having access to you to talk about these kind of things and get straight answers is really good. So Anita wants to know how long your $47 is going to be available.
Gosh. Well, something, this is NAMS. It's up there for a while. It's up there for a while. Yeah.
Good. We will. I'll talk to you about when we take that down, but I can guarantee you that it will be up there until next Wednesday. How about that, Paul?
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay. So there it is. It was the link is at the top of the chat box. nams.ws/Udemy profits, all one word, lowercase, Udemy profits. So this has been just awesome, Paul. It's been a great information-filled kind of event, and we really appreciate you being here. I mean, you battled the kitchen fire today to be here. really pleased that you came and did this, and glad you're okay, and glad your apartment's okay. So thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Really enjoyed it again, David. Thank you.
Thank you. And folks, if you have any questions about this, I'll leave this open for a few minutes. We will stop the broadcast, but we'll leave this open so that you could access the chat and the links here for a little bit. So thank you again, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.